Good morning and welcome to today's episode of That BS podcast. I am super excited that you are here. No, I'm not talking about bull shenanigans, but I am talking about belief systems. This is the safe space where we are re engineering belief systems to transform life's obstacles into opportunities successfully. I am so glad that you have joined me today. I am working to build up my YouTube channel, so please visit my YouTube channel at the BS Boss. Like today's video, share it with your social media fam, and be certain to hit that subscribe button. And when you do that, there'll be an option, a little bell that shows up where you can get all, some notifications. Click that all button. So anytime I go live or anytime I update new content to YouTube, you get to see it. So today I am super excited because we are talking about how the 1% rule can change your life and your results. 1%. Now, 1% is a very small amount. You know, we don't want 1% interest on our savings and our investment because that's just so small, right? So when we think about a return on our investment with our money, when somebody says, oh, this money market or this savings account or this CD, this investment will earn 1%, we'd be like, yeah, nah, not interested. That's not enough money, interest earned on my investment. That's not a great return on my investment. But there is a situation where 1% is amazing and miraculous. How the 1% rule can change your life and change your results. Let's jump into it. Can a measly 1% improvement make a difference? It might not make a difference in only one day, but regular 1% improvements can change your life. Oftentimes, we set goals so grand and so big, so magnanimous that they're too daunting for us to even take the first step. There is a proverb that I used to hear coming up is how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. When our goals are so big, and oftentimes goals are big, right? They're reach goals, they're stretch goals, or else they wouldn't be goals, right? But they seem overwhelming and so daunting that it can be challenging to even take the first step. Our minds are go like on autopilot. And it's like we immediately resist the notion of significant changes, making change uncomfortable. Because who likes change? I mean, we all like positive change, but change is change. And we don't necessarily know when it's going to change. Uh-oh, are those bars right there? Change is change. And that's what makes change because we don't know when things are going to change. But one guarantee in life is that everything must change. There's a song, that's a lyric. However, a mere 1% change is so significant that it can slip past our defense mechanisms, making it an easier and more manageable task. We all, every one of us listening today, possess the confidence to enhance anything by just a measly, mere 1%. This belief system and our ability to improve, even by a small margin, is a powerful tool in our personal development journey. It's a powerful tool in us re-engineering our belief system. For our purposes today, right now, in this moment, we'll define the 1% rule as making a 1% improvement in every aspect of our lives every day. Every day, 1%. Let's see how we can embrace the power of small, incremental 1% changes. And I have made a list of 7. I know y'all are like, you and your list, Lisa. Yes, Lisa has lists. I like lists. I'm very logical thinking. I told you I do patterns. It's an occupational hazard of being a budget and financial management officer for so many years, for so many decades. I'm telling you, it's what I do. So we're going to talk about how embracing these small incremental changes, a 1% daily, how we can see the impact. Number 1, small improvements are believable, attainable, and sustainable. Big changes and modifications can be hard to fathom. Okay? You know where I'm going. Think about losing weight. Immediately, I'm thinking, oh, I need to lose 50 pounds. And how am I going to lose 50 pounds? I'm leaving on a cruise and I want to be bathing suit ready, a certain size bathing suit ready. And okay, if the cruise is 5 days from now, I'm not going to lose 50 pounds in 5 days, not healthily, not in a healthy way. But thinking about small changes that I can make over time in my eating habits so that I can come down in a healthy way slowly. But thinking about that big picture, then guess what? I do nothing and I don't get smaller at all. I don't lose any pounds. However, it's not hard to convince ourselves that we can be 1% better today than we were yesterday. So maybe today I can start with 1 meal replacement. Instead of having 3 full meals, maybe have a protein shake that replaces 1 meal and see what impact that makes. Number 2, small improvements lead to big changes. Small improvements lead to big changes. Consider a child learning to walk is a perfect example. How long it takes a child to go from crawling to walking to running. Each of these processes is a series of tiny daily improvements. Now, I hate to say that my mom told me that I was one of those kids that just got up one day and started running across the room. But again, that's my personality. That's who I am, right? No small steps, just big steps. But anyway, those small improvements. Number 3, look for areas in which you can make a 1% improvement. Look at your life for places where you can make minor improvements each day. We can consider our health, our career, our finances, and relationships. So, could we be 1% better at our job today than we were yesterday? What would we do better? So, for example, a 1% improvement could be making sure that all of your meetings start on time today, just today, not tomorrow, not thinking about next week, but today, maybe the focus is ensuring that your meetings start and end on time and they don't run over. And what does that look like? Hey, might be one of your Lisa lists, right? Making a list of everything that you want to talk about so that you can start and end on time. That's a 1% change in career, what that could look like. We talked about what it could look like in our health in terms of diet and money. Money change, a 1% change could even be at the end of the day, any change that you have in your pocket is set it aside and that goes into a jar or into a plate, and that could be savings for the day. That's something I have an uncle who used to do. Uh, he's in his 80s now, but every day he would take the change out of his pocket and put it in a jar. And at the end of every month, whatever change that was, he would deposit it into his savings account. And he has amassed a quite large sum of money just in the change. So that's a 1% change. Number 4, track your progress. Keep a journal. Put it on the refrigerator like you do your grocery list, right? What changes did you make on that particular day? Note the daily changes you make in your behavior and any results you experience. You experience. Tracking our progress will prove to us that the process is effective, and seeing progress will also encourage us to continue. It's just like with children, encouraging good behavior, positive feedback, positive reinforcement. So seeing those incremental changes that that we're monitoring will encourage us to continue. It's just like as kids, if your parents marked your height on a door or a wall, and you could see how you grew over time. It's the same concept. Number 5, just being 1% better can lead to winning as much as 100% of the rewards. Let me repeat that. Just being 1% better can lead to winning as much as 100% of the rewards. That math is math, and trust me, I would not put it out there if the math wasn't mathing. 1% improvements don't just lead to significant gains. Sometimes being just 1% better than our competition is all the difference we need. For example, when 5 companies make a sales pitch to a potential client, the best pitch gets all of the work, right? Whoever wins gets 100% of the work. A 1% advantage can lead to 100% of the benefits. Never underestimate the power of 1%. Just like when we put our resume in for a job, we interview, we get selected for that job. Guess what? We just earned 100% of that job. We're not sharing it with anybody. We're getting that whole check, honey, 100% of the bag. Number 6, progress is a potent motivator. I was a cheerleader growing up. I do believe that cheerleading is a sport. I know I have this debate often, but it's nothing like seeing the cheerleaders on the sideline rooting you on, right? Progress is like a cheerleader. It is a potent motivator. Research has consistently shown that nothing is more motivating than seeing progress. Nothing is more motivating than seeing progress. Even a tiny achievement like losing a pound. Oh my God, losing a pound. I can tell you, I dance a jig when I see that scale go down. Just the slightest little bit, I get excited. That boosts my morale. While big goals may seem intimidating, the sight of any progress can keep us enthusiastic and motivated. Number seven, and the final one. We have to ask ourselves, if I improved every area of my life by 1% each day, what would the result be in a year? That's a Selah moment. If I improved every area of my life by 1% each day, what would the result be in a year? In 365 days, how much would my life change? How much better would I be at my job? What changes what I see in my earnings, in the money that I would make, in my savings? How much stronger would my relationships be? When you think about our career, I don't know about you, but in my career, every year at the 6-month mark, I had a performance review. And at the 12-month mark, I would have an annual review. And at each marking point, mile marker, right, or stage gate of review, at the 6-month marker, I had to provide accomplishments for the 6 months. At the year marker, I had to provide an overview of all the accomplishments that I had professionally for the year. Those accomplishments were considered in my performance rating. My performance rating influenced whether or not I got a bonus, whether or not I received a bonus, a financial bonus, a time off bonus, or any type of award. And it also influenced whether or not I got a pay raise. So think about it. Incremental changes, a 1% change every day over 365 days had a significant impact on my earning potential. Over time, a 1% daily improvement will completely renovate our lives. Imagine each part of our life being 365% better. That figure, 365%, even ignores the power of compounding. I'm not going to get into it today, but think about compounding interest on your investment, on your savings. So today, that 1% is just 1%. But tomorrow, that 1% is 2%. The next day, that 2% is now 5%. Uh-oh, you're not ready for it. So that 1% incremental change is really compounded, is more than 365% improvement. That's a complete change. Talk about a makeover, honey. There's not enough MAC to cover that makeover. That is a true glow up and improvement. Avoid dismissing the power of making small changes in our lives today. It can be challenging to believe that making such a small change can provide so many benefits. However, the math is math, and honey, it's simple to understand. Over the course of a year, those minor improvements lead to considerable changes in the results we experience. So sit with that as we go to our proverbs and pearls for today. 25 and 28, English Revised Version reads, "People who cannot control themselves are like cities without walls to protect them." Yikes. If I can't control myself, it's like me standing out, being unprotected and open for every wind of change to take me out entirely. Ponder the question today. Starting small is the key. What is one change you will make today, right this very moment in time, to experience such a miraculous change? Now that right there, that's some BS that will transform life's obstacles into opportunities successfully. Have a fantastic day, and I look forward to seeing you next episode on the BS podcast.